Pleasant day everyone. So I am Timothy James Tragoro together with Miss Melja Loveras, and we are going to present the emerging Europe and the Byzantine Empire. So here are the topics that we are going to discuss at this video. So first is the great emperors of Byzantine Empire. Next is the Orthodox Church, the culture and traditions. Next is architecture in Byzantine Empire and the fall of Constantinople. So now let's proceed to the great emperors of Byzantine Empire. First is Diocletian. So Diocletian was a Roman emperor who ruled from 284 to 305 AD, and he is best known for stabilizing the empire after the crisis of the 3rd century, a period of severe political, military, and economic turmoil. Rising to power after the assassination of Emperor Numerian, Diocletian implemented sweeping reforms that transformed the structure of the Roman state. So he established the Tetrarchy, dividing the empire into two main parts, each ruled by an Augustus, the senior emperor, and a Caesar, which is a junior emperor, to improve administrative efficiency and military defense. So itong si Emperor Diocletian, he ruled the Roman Empire, hindi yung Byzantine Empire. But and dito na-realize niya that the vast empire was difficult na pamahalaan and vulnerable siya sa mga external threats like yung mga barbarian invasions and internal power struggles nagplague sa empire. And dahil dito nag-erode yung trust ng mga citizens sa gobyerno, and para i-address, si Diocletian nag-decide siya na hatiin yung empire into two parts, which is the Eastern Roman Empire with its capital na Nicomedia and na pinamamahalaan niya, and the Western Roman Empire with its capital Milan na pinamamahalaan naman ni Maximian. So yung division na to is like aiming sana for good governance, but it marked the Roman Empire's decline. So next, as Western Europe succumbed to the Germanic invasions, imperial power shifted to the Byzantine Empire. It is the eastern part of the Roman Empire. So noong 4th century AD, the Western Roman Empire faced a relentless wave of Germanic invasions. So itong mga fierce tribes na to, they have been driven by hunger, thirst for power, and yung desire nila for new lands and expanded areas. So nagleft ito ng devastation para sa wake ng mga tribes na to. So it began with the Visigoths, led by Alaric, who sacked Rome in 410 AD. The once mighty capital lay in ruins, and it shattered yung mga people ng Western Roman Empire. The empire's central authority crumbled and division plagued the territories. So habang humihina yung Western Roman Empire, maraming Germanic tribes yung umuspong pa para lalo pang pabagsakin tong Western Roman Empire na to. So ito yung mga Vandals, Ostrogoths, Franks, Saxons, and Lombards. They ravaged the cities, sinira nila yung mga infrastructure sa loob ng Western Roman Empire, and pinatigil nila pati yung trade system ng empire. Moreover, pati yung agriculture nila also declined, and food becomes scarce. So malaking kakulangan sa pagkain ang nangyari dahil sa invasion ng mga Germanic tribes na to. So Romans fled, displaced by the invaders. Intermarriage and cultural exchange between Romans and Germanic tribes redefined the social landscape. Roman culture, na once the epitome of civilization, it slowly renders sa mga Germanic customs, and even the Roman legions na dating hindi matibag-tibag now relies on Germanic mercenaries. So habang humihina yung military ng Roman Empire and they are unable na para na i-defend yung borders nila, noong 455 there are the Jaeserix Vandals. So inatake ulit nila yung Rome, and they mark it as the final blow. So noong September 4, 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire officially fell. So bumagsak na ng tuluyan ng Western Roman Empire. The barbarian king Odoacer deposed Romulus Augustus, the last Roman emperor. The Ostrogothic kingdom rose, and the Middle Ages marked its starting point on Europe. So, next slide. So, lang pala yung next slide. Same slide pa rin pala siya. Hindi ko nabasa agad. So, the Byzantine Empire's roots date back to 660 BC, when the ancient Greek colony of Byzantium was founded by a Greek nobleman named Byzas. And yung Byzantine Empire is strategically located on the European side of Bosphorus Strait, kung saan ito yung nagko-connect ng Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea. And yung Byzantine Empire din yung nagko-control ng trade routes dito sa strait na to. And in 330 AD, Emperor Constantine I renamed Byzantium to Constantinople, and ginawa niya tong capital city ng Byzantine Empire. So this magnificent city with its stunning architecture, vibrant culture, and prime location became the epicenter of power. As the Western Roman Empire fell, Constantinople's importance grew. So, excuse me. Yung defense ng city, including the Theodosian walls, which ito yung nagpo-protect sa kanila from the invaders, and yung strategic position, it also facilitated trade, cultural exchange, and diplomatic relation. So the Byzantine Empire flourished, blending Roman, Greek, and Christian traditions. Its distinct culture, architecture, and art emerged, characterized by these intricate mosaics, domed churches, and ornate palaces. So, next slide. So, next is Roman Emperor Constantine I. So, he moved the capital of Roman Empire from Rome to Byzantium and renaming it Constantinople after himself. He is the first emperor to legalize Christianity, and one of his mission is to oversee the development of Christianity within the empire, or yung tinatawag na divine rights. He stopped the practice of using the state funds to support pagan worship, and he transferred the money to church instead. So noong 306 AD, Constantine I rose to power in the Roman Empire, seeking to unite and strengthen its foundation. He envisioned a new capital, and his gaze fell upon Byzantium, strategically located at the Bosphorus Strait. So, sinabi ko na kanina. In 330 AD, Byzantium was reborn as Constantinople, named after his honor. So, isa sa mga most significant decision ni Constantine I ay yung pag-legalize also ng Christianity throughout the empire. With the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, he granted religious freedom, ending centuries of persecution. Pinatigil niya rin yung state funds for pagan worship. So yung pagan worship is like giving ritual sa mga old pre-Christian gods and goddesses. Ginagawa nila ito through chanting and seasonal festivals. And hindi din sila naniniwala kay Jesus. So pinatigil to ni Constantine I, and ni-redirect niya yung mga resources sa Christian church tulad ng Hagia Sophia and other churches na madidiscuss later on. Pagan worship with its rituals and traditions was replaced by Christianity. During sa time ni Constantine, wala nang Romans na nag-honor sa multiple gods and goddesses. So, ito yung mga gods like Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Apollo. Including yung mga, tinigil niya rin yung mga animal sacrifices and temple offerings para mag-give way sa new Christian practices. Constantine's impact was profound. The Council of Nicaea in 325 AD established Christian doctrine, and yung Christianity is mabilis nag-spread across the empire. Constantinople emerged as a center of power, shaping European history. And during the reign of Constantine I, a new era dawned on the Roman Empire, one that would forever change its course. Constantine's legacy endured a testament to his visionary leadership. So, next slide is, ito yung map ng Byzantine Empire. Yung may color orange lang. It was during the reign of Constantine I. And, ito naman yung map ng Constantinople, which is the capital of Byzantine Empire. Ito ngayon yung modern day Istanbul sa Turkey. Next. So, next is Justinian the Great. From 527 to 565 AD. The Byzantine Empire reached its greatest size under his rule. He was determined to revive the ancient glory of Rome by recovering the provinces that had been lost to the barbarians. His longest lasting achievement was the construction of Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom in English. This was made to restore the old Roman glory through a program to beautify Constantinople. So, during the 6th century AD, the Byzantine Empire flourished sa ilalim ng leadership ni Justinian I. He was very determined to revive the glory of Rome. Justinian's ultimate goal was to restore the empire to its former glory. Kaya siya nag-launch ng mga ambitious campaigns to reconquer lost territories, strengthen the military, at ma-revive ang Roman law at good governance. Isa sa malaking nagawa ni Justinian was the majestic Hagia Sophia, built in just 5 years from 532 to 537 AD. So, ito ay isang simbahan. This cathedral is a testament to Byzantine engineering at its finest, according sa mga expert. So, Hagia Sophia symbolized yung kapangyarihan at faith ng mga taga-Byzantine. Justinian's restoration program transformed Constantinople with new roads, bridges, public buildings, and renovated palaces at mga simbahan. His military campaigns were equally impressive. Nakuha niya ang North Africa from the Vandals, and muli niya nabawi ang Italy mula sa Ostrogoths at pumalawak sa Spain at Gaul. Justinian's reign marked the zenith of Byzantine Empire. His vision and determination revived the Rome. Dahil sa kanya, napalawak niya ang Byzantine culture, at ito yung humubog sa isa sa mga European history. So next, this is the, as you can see, this is the map of the Byzantine Empire. And di ba yung parang nakuha ni Constantine I is etong orange lang. And during the reign of Justinian I, yung mga may yellow color, ayan yung napalawak niya at nabawi niya from the other tribe na sumakop dati sa Roman Empire. Next. So next is the imperial goal, which is unity. So one God, one empire, and one religion. The imperial goal in the East was to centralize government and impose legal and doctrinal conformity. So their vision was clear, a unified empire with stable and good governance. Through their efforts, the Christianism spreads, and ito yung nagpapalakas sa pagkakaisa ng Byzantine Empire. Also, trade and commerce also flourished, and so yung lumawak din yung influence ng Byzantine Empire to other nations. However, may mga challenges din na hinarap ang empire, like the provincial rebellions at yung mga doctrinal disputes, which nag-spark ng tensions, but they remained united amidst ng lahat ng to. The legacy of unity lived on is one of the testament they hold. So next is the first method, the law, the Justinian's Code. So Justinian I collated and revised Roman law, his Corpus Juris Civilis, or the body of civil law. It had little effect on medieval common law. However, Beginning with the Renaissance, it provided the foundation for most European law down the 19th century. So, Emperor Justinian I sought to unify the Eastern Roman Empire. So, he believed that unity is the key. And para ma-achieve to, create niya yung Corpus Juris Civilis or yung tinatawag niya na Justinian's Code. This comprehensive law standardized criminal justice and property rights. So, dahil dito nag-end yung mga provincial disparities. The law is our guiding light, Justinians declared, and indeed yung code niya is naging foundation ng European law. So, shinape niya yung Europe using his jurisprudence for over centuries and until now. So, next slide. So, next is the second method, religion. Religion as well as law served imperial centralization in 380 AD. Christianity had been proclaimed as the official religion of the Byzantine Empire. Now, all other religions were considered demented and insane. So, during nung reign ni Justinian I, religion played a crucial role in imperial centralization. So, the Christianity is proclaimed as the official religion nung 380 AD, and ito yung naging unifying force ng Byzantine Empire. So, Justinian saw Christianity as a powerful tool for unity and control. Naniwala siya na a single unified faith would strengthen the empire and cement his authority. So, consequently, all other religions were deemed demented and insane, like yung pagans, Jews, and heretics. So, itong mga religion na to is nag-face ng persecution and yung mga property nila were confiscated. The Eastern Orthodox Church with its hierarchical structure, it aligned perfectly with Justinian's centralized vision. So, he appointed patriarchs and bishops during imperial control over ecclesiastical matters. So, Christianity spread throughout the empire and imperial authority was reinforced. Dissenting voices were silenced. So, Justinian's religious policies left an enduring legacy, shaping the Byzantine Empire's character and influencing the European history. Next is the independent thinking. Ideas thought to be heresies by the Roman Catholic Church received imperial support. So, first here is the Arianism. So, Arianism denied that Father and Son were equal and co-eternal. So, ang mga Arian ay hindi naniniwala or hindi nag-agree sa concept ng Trinity, which is the Holy Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit na tinuturo ng Catholic Church. So, ang mga Arian ay naniniwala na ang anak or the Son is nilikha ng Ama at hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng parehong katangian at kapangyarihan yung dalawang yon. Next is the monophysitism. It taught that Jesus had only one nature, a composite divine human one. This doctrine asserted Jesus had one divine human nature, contradicting the church dual nature stance. So, sinasabi dito na like si Jesus ay may isang nature lang na binubuo ng pagka-Diyos at pagkatao. So, sinasabi kasi ng church, sinasabi na si Jesus ay isang tao at isang Diyos, which are two different nature. However, ang mga monophysitism ay naniniwala na si Jesus ay nabuhay or nabubuhay bilang isang Diyos na tao at hindi bilang isang Diyos at isang tao. Next is iconoclasm. Iconoclasm forbid the use of images or icons because it led to idolatry. So, itong mga iconoclast, hindi sila naniniwala sa mga imahe. Inaatake nila yung mga religious beliefs ng Christianism na gumagamit ng mga imahe, and there are points na sinisira nila yung mga imahe and they always oppose sa mga respect na binibigay ng mga churches sa mga imahe na to. So next is the third method, which is the strong cities. During Justinian's reign, the empire's strength was its more than 1,500 cities. The largest with 350 inhabitants was Constantinople, the cultural crossroads of Asian and European civilizations. So, itong si Justinian, heavily attached siya sa Byzantine Empire. He really wanted na mapalawak tong empire na to, and he aims to give people better opportunities and services. And marami ring mga cities ang na-establish for military defense in order to protect the empire. Lalo na during his time, nag-boom talaga ang trade and commerce, which led para magkaroon pa ng major growth itong Byzantine Empire. So, let's proceed now to the next topic that will be discussed by Miss Melja Loberas, the Orthodox Church, Culture and Traditions at Architecture ng Byzantine Empire.
Theodosius I, also known as Theodosius the Great, 347 to 395 CE, was a Roman emperor who ruled from 379 CE to 395 CE. Kilala rin siya for making Christianity as the official state religion of the Roman Empire, and siya rin yung last emperor na nag-rule sa Eastern and Western Roman Empire. Yung father niya is kilala bilang isang successful general who helped restore Roman control over the western provinces. Noong 379 CE, na-appoint siya bilang isang emperor ng Eastern Roman Empire. He issued the Edict of Thessalonica. The Edict of Thessalonica was a proclamation issued by Roman Emperor Theodosius I in 380 CE that made Nicene Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. Iniim ng edict na ito as to unify the empire under a single religious doctrine and suppress the other forms of Christianity. So, one of the major accomplishments of Theodosius I was maintaining unity in the Roman Empire, which had been divided between East and West noong si Diocletian pa yung namumuno sa Roman Empire. He ruled the Eastern Roman Empire from 379 CE, and after that of Western Emperor na si Valentinian II noong 392 CE, siya na rin yung namahala sa Western Roman Empire and uniting both halves of the Roman world. However, bago mamatay si Theodosius I, noong 395 CE, Theodosius I permanently divided the empire between his two sons na sina Arcadius, who ruled the East, and si Honorius naman sa Western Roman Empire. So, yung pagkakahating nangyari yun, nag-lead siya to sa pagbagsak ng Western Roman Empire, while yung Eastern Roman Empire naman, nagtagal pa siya ng ilang centuries. The Byzantine and Roman Christian churches started as one but broke from each other into the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church. Three of the most important issues were doctrinal differences between Eastern and Western churches, the rejection of universal papal authority by Eastern Patriarch, and growing sociopolitical differences between East and West. The Great Schism of 1054 marked the formal division between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church, resulting from centuries of deepening theological, cultural, and political differences. The mutual excommunication of in 1054 AD between Pope Leo VI, representative of Cardinal Humbert, and Patriarch Michael I, Cyrillarius of Constantinople, marked the official beginning of the Great Schism, the division between the Roman Catholic Church in the West and the Eastern Orthodox Church in the East. So, meron three leaders ang meron sa Eastern Orthodox Church. First is yung Patriarch. A Patriarch is a Byzantine Empire, is yung the highest-ranking bishop leading religious figure of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Yung position ng Patriarch was highly influential both religiously and politically, due to the significance of Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul as the empire's capital and the major center of Christianity. Sila rin yung kinakonsidered as the first among equals and sa Eastern Orthodox Church and bishops and patriarchs. Next is yung bishop. Second is bishop. The bishop in Byzantine Empire was a high-ranking clergyman. Sila naman yung mga responsible for overseeing the administration and spiritual life of Jesus or the church district or area. Bishops were crucial to the structure of Eastern Orthodox Church and played a significant roles hindi lang sa religion maging sa political and social spheres. Yung mga bishops din is nakatoka in leading religious services, administering sacraments, and providing spiritual guidance to the faithful in the diocese. Kinoconsider din sila as successor the apostles and held significant religious authority. Ang mga bishops din is nagmamanage ng mga local churches, kasama na yung pag-appoint ng mga priests and deacons, overseeing religious practices and ensuring adherence to the church doctrines. Next is icons. Icons in Eastern Orthodox Christianity are religious images or paintings that hold a significant roles in worship and spiritual practices. Yung mga icons na yun, hindi lang siya basta decorative but kinoconsider din siya into sacred and nagsiserve to as important tools for devotions and teaching. Icons are often referred as windows to heaven because they are believed to provide a connection between the worshipper and the divine. Emperor Leo banned the use of icons in 726 AD. He initiated this policy by issuing an edict that prohibited the veneration of religious images. Pinapautos niya yung pagtatanggal at pagsira sa mga icons sa mga simbahan. This act marked the beginning of iconoclastic controversy, a significant religious and political conflict in Byzantine Empire that lasted for more than a century. Naniniwala kasi si Emperor Leo III at iba pang iconoclasts that the veneration of icons had crossed into idolatry, violating the second commandment from the Bible, which is yung pagpo-forbid sa paggawa at pag-worship sa mga graven images. The iconoclastic controversy continued after Leo III's reign, persisting until it was formally ended during the rule of Empress Theodora in 843 AD, wife of Emperor Theopolis. Siya yung pinaka-first and yung pinaka-last na iconoclast emperor of Byzantine Empire, reigning from 829 to 842 AD. Empress Theodora ended the period of iconoclasm by restoring the veneration of icons, and yung decision na yun is sineselebrate ng Eastern Orthodox Church as triumph on orthodoxy. This marked the official end of iconoclastic controversy and na-reestablish yung paggamit ng icons sa Orthodox Christian worship. The iconostasis is typically composed of several rows of icons arranged in specific orders. Central icons, the icons of Christ on the right side of the central doors, known as the royal doors, and the icons of the Theotokos, Mother of God on the left. And may mga additional icons din. And yung mga yun is yung saints, patron saints, and various angels may be included. Religious commitments. Religious commitments, the decision to make a sincere effort to put one's religious beliefs into practice. Orthodox Christians shows religious commitment by attending the Divine Liturgy on Saturday, celebrating the sacraments, and living a good Christian lives. So, mayroong 7 sacraments ang Eastern Orthodox Church. First is baptism, second is Holy Communion, third is confirmation, fourth is anointing of the sick, fifth is confession, sixth is marriage, and last is ordination. The Byzantine Empire influenced many culture, primarily due to its role in shaping Christian Orthodox. The modern-day Eastern Orthodox Church is the second largest Christian church in the world. Orthodoxy is central to the history and societies of Greece, Bulgaria, Russia, and Serbia and other countries. So, pagdating sa mga culture and tradition na nakasanayan ng mga nakatira sa Byzantine Empire, learning was highly respected in Byzantine culture. The government supported the training of scholars, yung mga lalaki. They studied religion, medicine, law, arithmetic, grammar, and other subjects. While yung mga wealthy Byzantines, sometimes they hired tutors to teach their children. Pagdating naman sa mga babae, they could not attend schools and tinuturuan lang sila sa mga bahay. Pero yung mga aristocrat females, they received tutoring in history, literature, philosophy, and composition. Although moral attitudes about women dictated that they should be secluded in segregated spaces and avoid being outspoken, in practice this was not always the case. Women did have their own spaces called gynaecontes kung saan nag-engage sila sa mga activities like spinning and weaving. Noble women also patronized monasteries. However, women could not become priests in the church kagaya ng pagkakaroon ng mataas na role na kayang gampanan ng mga lalaki noong panahon na yon in Byzantine Empire. Despite some restrictions, many women had role in public life and engaged in commercial activities. May karapatan din mga kababaihan na mag-inherit and often had independent wealth, which was frequently in the form of dowry. Si Empress Theodora is the 6th century Byzantine empress na asawa ni Emperor Justinian I. Kilala siya bilang isa sa mga most powerful in Byzantine history kasi ginamit niya yung position niya to influence, to promote religious and social policies that were important to her. She was one of the first rulers na nag-recognize ng rights ng mga kababaihan. She is known for having influence a series of reforms that were beneficial to women. She instituted policies prohibiting prostitution, creating convents, and instituting harsh punishment for rape and other forms of violence against women. The reforms also expanded divorce, child guardianship, and property ownership rights for women. Next is rhetoric and public debate. Rhetoric and public debate is another tradition in Byzantine Empire, and it is a philosophical and theological discourse that was important in public life and even yung mga emperors is nagiging parte nito. It is highly valued in Byzantine Empire and played an essential role in its education, public discourse, and religious life. Another tradition in Byzantine Empire, rhetoric and public debate were integral parts of both Western and Eastern Roman empires, including the Byzantine Empire. While the traditions of rhetoric originated in classical Greece and were carried forward by Romans, the Byzantine Empire adopted and continued these traditions, embedding them into its education and political religious life. The Theodosian walls were built under the reign of Theodosius II and not Justinian I. These portable defensive walls ay ginawa noong 5th century para protection ng Constantinople sa mga threats, particularly from external threats in invasions of barbarian groups like Huns, Goths, and other during the late Roman Empire. These walls were among the most impressive fortification of the ancient world and were instrumental in defending the city against various siege over the centuries. During the reign of Justinian I, as an expand and in-upgrade niya yung Theodosian walls. Next is Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, formerly known as Constantinople, is one of the most significant architectural and historical landmarks in the world. So yung Hagia Sophia, isa siyang cathedral na naging museum and naging isang mosque. Originally, yung Hagia Sophia was created by Emperor Justinian I noong 537 AD as a cathedral for Eastern Orthodox Church. Yung mga architect na gumawa ng monumental structure na ito is sina Artemius of Tralles and Isidro Melanthius of Tralles, who designed it para ipakita yung kapangyarihan ng mga taong namumuhay sa Byzantine Empire. Hagia Sophia was a massive dome supported by innovative pensive architecture, was an engineering marvel of its time, and a set of standard for future religious structures for nearly a millennium. Hagia Sophia served as cathedral of Byzantine Empire and at the seat of Patriarch Constantinople. Ito yung site kung saan ginaganap yung mga importanteng religious events and ceremonies and yung mga imperial events and coronations. When the iconoclast controversy occurred, kung saan yung mga religious images is binan, alinsunod na rin sa pinag-utos ni Emperor Leo III, and yung mga mosaic in Hagia Sophia was destroyed and covered. Pero noong 9th to 13th century, after the declaration of the end of iconoclasm, na-restored ulit yung mga religious mosaic and images na yon, and it remained as a significant site for religious ceremonies and imperial coronations. Noong 1204 to 1261 AD, during the Fourth Crusade, Constantinople was sacked and the Hagia Sophia was converted into a Roman Catholic church or cathedral. Under the rule of Latin Empire, the city and the church were looted and nagcause ng significant um, damage sa Hagia Sophia. But noong 1261 AD, the Byzantine Empire was restored under the Emperor Michael VIII and nabalik yung Hagia Sophia sa Orthodox Christianity. But then again, noong 1453, napasakamay naman ng Ottoman Empire yung Hagia Sophia sa pamumuno naman ni Sultan Mehmed II. And dahil rin sa kanya, yung dating Hagia Sophia is convert into a mosque. Islamic features such as minarets, mihrab, and minbar were added. Christians' mosaics were covered but not destroyed. In modern era, isinara naman yung Hagia Sophia sa publiko for 4 years while it underwent restoration and research. Noong July 2020, Turkish government under President Recep kinonvert niya yung Hagia Sophia back into a mosque while it remains open sa mga visitors. Of all faiths, Islamic practices were restated and some mosaics were covered during prayers, times to respect the Islamic customs. Hippodrome. The Hippodrome of Constantinople was an ancient stadium located in what is now called Istanbul, Turkey. Isa ito sa mga pinaka-importanting social and sporting centers of Byzantine Empire. The Hippodrome was originally built by Septimius Severus noong 3rd century AD, kung saan yung Constantinople ay kilala pa sa tawag na Byzantium. In-expand and nirenovate naman ito ni Emperor Constantine the Great noong 4th century AD, when made the seat of capital of Roman Empire and renamed it Constantinople. The term hippodrome comes from the Greek word hippos, means horse, and dramos means path or race course, reflecting to its primary function as a venue for horse and chariot racing. It was massive U-shaped structure capable of seating of 10,000s of spectators. Ginaganap dito is yung chariot racing. Ito yung pinaka-popular and vital part ng entertainment sa Byzantine Empire. The blues and the greens were two of the four original racing functions in the Roman Byzantine world. Yung other ito naman ay yung tinatawag na red and white. Pero yung sa Byzantine era, ng time na to is mas dominant yung blue and green functions or yung blue and green teams. Nare-represent nila yung mga charioteers na nakikipag-compete sa races at Hippodrome, which was a major form of entertainment niya sa Constantinople. The blues and the greens were not merely sports teams, they evolved into a powerful political social groups that influenced both public opinion and the affairs of the empire. The blues typically associated with the upper classes and sometimes aligned with more conservative and pro-imperial sentiments. Dito naman sa green teams or green functions, often considered to be broader support among the lower classes and were at times linked to the more radical or populist positions. Nicaragua was a major uprising that took place in Constantinople in 532 AD during the reign of Emperor Justinian I. Isa ito sa mga most significant events and violent rebellions na nangyari sa history ng Byzantine Empire. and it resulted from a combination of political, social, and economic grievances. So this riot happened because of dissatisfactions with Justinian the First administrations dahil nga raw sa mataas siyang maningil ng mga buwis and taxes, dahil din sa pagpapatayo niya ng mga buildings and yung mga military campaigns niya. Nire-record niya yung mga tao or mga nasasakupan niya na magbigay ng malalaking halaga ng buwis para dun kumuha ng funds sa mga gagastusin niya. And yung bago mangyari yung riot na yun, or yung Nika riot, maraming members ng Blue and Green factions were arrested for violent conduct during the previous riots. Yung Blue and Green factions, pareho silang nakiusap kay Justinian I na pakawalan yung mga naarestong Blue and Green factions na mga members nila, pero tinanggihan yun ni Justinian I. So, dahil sa pagtangging ginawa ngayon ni Justinian I, mas lalong nagalit yung mga mamamayan niya. Nangyari yung Nika riot noong 532 AD during the chariot race at the Hippodrome, kung saan nagsimulang sumigaw yung mga tao ng Nika, means victory or conquer, para pakawalan yung mga prisoners. So, bali sinet aside ng Blue and Green factions yung differences nila, and nag-join forces sila against Justinian I. Yung protest na yun nawit into full-scale rebellion. Over the next several days, nagpatuloy yung riot and yung campaign ng mga mamamayan nilang pabagsakin or pabain sa preso si Justinian I. The rioters rampaged through Constantinople, setting fires and sinimulan na nilang atakihin yung mga government buildings, much of the city including Hagia Sophia. Yung mga leader ng rebellion gusto nilang paalisin sa preso si Justinian I, and they even declared Hypatius as a nephew of the late Emperor Anastasius I as the new emperor. Justinian was initially prepared to flee the city, pero yung asawa niyang si Empress Theodora, as pinigilan siyang gawin yun. Sinabi ni Empress Theodora kay Justinian I na royalty is fine, be real, shroud, meaning mas gugustuhin na mamatay na empress siya kasi naman sa mabuhay siyang nakakulong. So after na to, gumawa sila ng parang para masolusyonan yung riot na nangyayari. Then si Justinian I, inutusan yung mga general niya na sina Belisarius and Mondus to lead troops against the rioters. The soldiers lured the rebels back into the Hippodrome under the pretense of negotiations and then sealed the exits. Yung mga rebellion believing they were about to receive terms of favorable to their cause, and bumalik sila sa arena, where they resembled the demand of Justinian's the first abdication, and nung natrap na sila sa loob ng Hippodrome, doon na nangyari yung mass execution. According dun sa historical accounts, is 30,000 mga tao yung namatay na nandun sa loob ng Hippodrome. So yung nangyari naman kay Hypatius, after nung nangyari sa Nika riot, pinapatay din siya ni Justinian I. The Basilica Cistern, also known as its Turkish name, Yereban-Saray, it is one of the major tourist attractions of modern Istanbul. Ito yung pinakamalaking ancient underground cistern sa Constantinople. It was built under the basilica located west of Hagia Sophia. Constructed during the 6th century AD under the reign of Emperor Justinian I, ginawa itong basilica cistern para mag-supply ng tubig sa mga great palace and iba pang important buildings sa Constantinople. The cistern covers an area of approximately 140 by 70 meters and has the capacity to hold 80,000 cubic meters or 21 million gallons of water. One of the most striking features of Basilica Cistern is its 336 marble columns, in each about 9 meters high, arranged in 12 rows to support the arch ceiling. So, meron dun 2 columns and have basis curve of image of head of Medusa and placed sideways and upside down, which had influenced historians and visitors alike. The cistern was supplied by aqueducts from Belgrade Forest para masiguradong nakakapag-provide yun ng mga tubig sa mga cities, especially during the siege or droughts. Isa rin to sa mga naapektuhan during Nika riot nung si Justinian I pa yung namamahala. The basilica was rebuilt by the Prefect Longinus by 542, during which time the basilica cistern was built underneath it. Work probably began on the cistern in 527 to 28 and probably functioned some years before the basilica was finished in 541. Next is Christ Pantocrator. Christ Pantocrator is one of the most iconic and important depictions of Christians in Christian's art, particularly sa Byzantine iconography. The term Pantocrator comes from the Greek words Pantos means all and Kratos means power or rule, meaning ruler of all or almighty. This title reflects Christ's divine authority over the entire universe, emphasizing his sovereign power. Yung right side daw ng image na yun, or yung mukha ni Jesus doon, usually depicted as more luminous and softer. And sinisymbolize nun yung divine niya as his divine nature. And while sa left side naman, nag-appears din yung shadowed and human, kung saan ina-emphasize doon yung humanity. The use of gold backgrounds in many Pantocrator icons is intended to represent the divine light of heaven, suggesting Christ's divine and eternal nature. Next is Basilica of San Vitil. Yung Church of San Vitil is nakalocate o matatagpuan sa northwestern part ng Ravenna in Italy, constructed in the 6th century AD, and the basilica was commissioned during the reign of the Byzantine Emperor na si Justinian I, and served as testament of influence of Byzantine culture in the western part of the former Roman Empire. Notably, the mosaic of Emperor Justinian I and his court is a highlight, showcasing him with bishops and soldiers, symbolizing the union of church and the state. Opposite this is the mosaic of Empress Theodora, with her attendants in luxurious robes, emphasizing her power and beauty. So lastly is Dormition of Virgin Mary. In the production of Russian icons, Mary's body lies on a barrier and naka-cross arm siya doon. And napapalibutan siya ng 12 apostles, and the figure of Jesus stands in almond shape, mandora looking at her body. He is enobed in a gold and holds a figure of swallowed baby, representing Mary's soul. At the top of composition, time is compressed as we see Mary already enthroned in heaven and flanked by angels.
So now let's proceed to the topic, the fall of Constantinople. Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, fell to the Ottoman Empire on May 29, 1453, marking the end of a centuries-long reign. So it was the end point of the Middle Ages and the start of the Renaissance era. So next. Ito yung map ng Constantinople, yung color purple. Next slide. The decline of Byzantine Empire. Internal struggles weakened the empire. Corruption and mismanagement by emperors led to economic troubles. Theological disputes and heresies caused religious conflicts, dividing the empire. Imperial overreach and extensive territorial expansions strained resources, and economic troubles, including inflation and heavy taxation, further exacerbated the situation. External pressures also took their toll. Arab conquest swept through the Middle East and North Africa, while the Bulgarian and Slavic invasions destabilized the Balkans. The Crusades brought Latin Crusaders to Constantinople's gates, culminating in the devastating sack of 1204. The Mongols' brutal raids ravaged Eastern Europe, and the Ottoman Empire's relentless rise eventually encircled the Byzantine territories. The final blow came in 1453 when Ottoman Empire forces besieged and conquered Constantinople, marking the empire's fall. So, next slide tayo. So, next is the Ottoman forces. So, the Ottoman Empire na pinangungunahan ni Mehmed II, so he assembled a massive force to conquer the Constantinople. So, meron siyang army na consisted of 80,000 na soldiers and 100 ships na equipped with powerful cannons inclusive the massive basilica. So, next slide. And the Byzantine defense. In contrast, the Byzantine Empire's defenses were significantly weaker. So, ang emperor during this time is si Emperor Constantine the 11th, Palaiologos. So, he only has 7,000 soldiers. So, anong laban? Anong laban ng Byzantine Empire sa anong laban ng 7,000 soldiers sa 80,000 soldiers and 100 ships? So, yung city dito na lang nag-rely sa 7,000 soldiers. And yung 14 kilometer na wall na parang harang sa mismong Constantinople. And ito yung nagprotekta sila sa kanila against sa pag-atake ng mga Ottomans. Next slide. Siege strategies. So Mehmed II implemented a multi-pronged strategy to breach Constantinople's defenses. So his forces bombarded the city with cannons, enforced a naval blockade, and attempted to breach the walls through tunneling and direct assault. So, etong picture, ito yung cannon na ginamit nila. Like, ito is a gunpowder cannon and super lakas niyan. Ginamit nila to para tibagen yung wall ng Constantinople. So, parang sila rin yung unang gumamit ng gunpowder na cannon. So, the fall of Constantinople. The siege began on April 6, 1453 with Ottoman forces arriving at the city gates. Cannon bombardment commenced on April 12. By May 20. Ottoman ships had bypassed Byzantine defenses, and on May 29, Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Empire. So, after 53 days ng relentless siege, Emperor Constantine 11th died sa pagde-defend ng city, and the Ottoman Empire conquest marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, a pivotal moment in history. So, it was a 53 days na sagupaan between Byzantine and Ottoman Empire, and sadly nasira ng Ottoman Empire yung pinaka-iingat-ingatan na wall ng Constantinople, and tuluyan sila nakapasok na nag-led para bumagsak sila. So I am going to play a YouTube video para mas maintindihan natin yung kung paano nga ba talaga bumagsak yung fall ng paano nag-fall yung Constantinople sa kamay ng Ottoman Empire.
In the year 1451, the 19-year-old Mehmed II ascends to the Ottoman throne and immediately begins preparations for the taking of Constantinople, the capital and last great holdout of the Roman Empire. He saw it as his duty to capture the city, because for him, it was an essential part in the expansion and future of his empire. By this time, Constantinople has yet to fully recover from the aftermath of the Fourth Crusade, and the city was experiencing economic turmoil and was severely depopulated. Sensing that this was his moment, Mehmed ordered the call and marched his army towards Constantinople on the 23rd of March, 1453, after only 2 years of being in power. Back in Constantinople, Emperor Constantine XI, knowing he lacked the manpower to properly defend the city, desperately called on Western nations to come to the city's aid. He was hoping for a crusade, allies, anything, but the Catholic nations of the West seemed to be embroiled in their own affairs and too busy to send help to a distant empire in need of support. Only nations that were immediately threatened by the rising Ottomans offered any aid. Genoa sent 3 ships and supplies. Venice, after much consideration, promised the emperor ships and men, but would delay their departure until it was too late. The Romans began preparations, storing food, gathering supplies, and recruiting every able-bodied man available. Their fleet was made up of 26 ships, and manpower numbered at about 5,000 of their own soldiers and about 2,000 foreigners, bringing in the total to about 7,000. The most notable of the foreign soldiers was the Genoese commander Giovanni Giustiniani and his private army of 700 professional soldiers. His arrival was a welcoming sight, but he brought nowhere near enough men to match the Ottoman strength. The army that they were about to face numbered at about 80,000 men, including an elite infantry corps called the Janissaries. The Ottoman fleet numbered at about 120 ships. Constantine needed every advantage he could get. So he ordered a chain be raised to block any attacking ships from entering the Golden Horn and exposing the sea wall. And with the wall secured, he could place more soldiers along the Theodosian walls. When deploying the soldiers, Constantine and Giustiniani predicted that the Sultan would attack the walls at its weakest point by the Lycus River and concentrated most of the defenders there. On April 5th, Mehmed arrived at the Ottoman camp outside the city and divided his forces into 3 parts and began the siege the next day. The first army faced the northernmost wall at Blachernay down to the 5th military gate. The second was placed from the gate of St. Romanus down to the sea. The third was made up of Janissaries, designed to put as much pressure on the defenders as possible. The Janissaries were placed, as Constantine predicted, along the Lycus River. During the initial stages of the siege, the millennia-old wall seemed to be defending well against the Ottoman artillery. But on the 5th day of the siege, cannons concentrated fire on one part of the wall at the St. Romanus gate and unleashed volley after volley of uninterrupted cannon fire. But the cannons took an incredibly long time to reload, giving the defenders time to make repairs on the wall. This soon became a pattern. The cannons would deal damage on the limestone walls, and the defenders would repair them during the night. On the 12th day of the siege, a break in the walls appeared, and the Sultan hastily gave the order for a general assault. The defenders, led by Constantine and Giustiniani, responded with a mass of arrows, debris, and Greek fire, managing to repel the attack. Just 2 days later, 3 Genoese ships brought weapons and supplies through the Golden Horn. The ships resupplied the defenders and replenished morale. An incursion into the Golden Horn was attempted by the Ottoman navy, but the chain held, and the Ottoman ships could not go through. On day 31, a massive assault was ordered, then again 5 days later, but both were repelled, which prompted the construction of an enormous wooden siege tower. A third attack on day 37 came with the support of the war machine, but Giustiniani managed to destroy it with barrels of gunpowder that would roll and explode by the base of the tower. Following the failures of the attacks, the Turks began to dig tunnels under the walls, which were thwarted by the engineer Johannes Grant by digging parallel tunnels in order to destroy them. The Sultan knew that he needed access to the Golden Horn. Blocked by the chain, the Sultan ordered 70 of his ships to be pushed through land by rolling them on wood with the help of oxen and men. The ships successfully reached the Golden Horn, bypassing the chain altogether, and caught the Romans by surprise. During all this, the Genoese in Galata, now eager to stay on the winning side, kept information about the ship's movements. And with that, the opening of the sea wall now stretched Constantine's forces thin. And with this new advantage, Mehmed ordered a gathering of the war council and planned a final assault on the city by land and sea that would occur on May 29th. The day before the final assault was a quiet day in the Ottoman camps, as Mehmed ordered a day of rest and prayer before the final assault. Sensing that the moment of truth was upon them, Constantine ordered that icons and relics from the churches be taken around the walls while the church bells rang. The crowd of Orthodox and Catholic joined in prayer as the divide between the East and West churches, at least for a moment, were forgotten. Shortly before midnight on the same day, Ottoman auxiliaries were sent into the Blachernay wall, essentially as cannon fodder, in order to tire the defenders, followed by a second wave of Anatolians, who then managed to breach into the city, but were promptly driven back by the defenders. Then, a final wave of elite Janissaries were sent, whom were met by Giustiniani. The defenders amazingly held, but Giustiniani was wounded during the fighting and retreated back to the harbor, where a boat was waiting for him. He would die from his wounds a few days later. Seeing their commander retreating to the rear, the Blachernay defense began to collapse. Adding to the misfortunes of the defenders, a small gate called Kirkaporta was left open by accident, allowing the first 50 or so Ottoman troops to enter the city. The Ottomans raised their banner atop an inner wall and opened fire on the defenders down below. This spread panic, beginning the rout of the defenders of the Blatchernae section of the walls, allowing more invaders in, whom then opened more gates. To the south, Constantine led forces defending the walls in the Lycus Valley and the gate of St. Romanus. With the enemy now surging through the gates and seeing the inevitable, Constantine tore off his royal garments in a fury and led a desperate last charge against the enemy. With the main defense now fallen, some of the remaining soldiers successfully fled, while others attempted to protect their homes and family to no avail. The walls were completely lost, and what was to come was nothing short of sheer carnage. The Ottoman soldiers swept through the city streets and was allowed 3 days of plunder. During the span of the 53-day siege, 4,000 defenders were killed and 30,000 soldiers and civilians enslaved or deported. Shortly after the fall, the Ottomans moved their capital to Constantinople, and the empire would go on to continue its conquests into much of Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Many Greek refugees fled Constantinople before and after the fall of the city, and among them were scholars who took with them many books and manuscripts of classical Greece that held valuable information which helped fuel the Renaissance, marking the end to the Middle Ages.